I've got a fable to share with you today. One day in Jerusalem, way back in New Testament times, a man from southern Israel sat down on a bench near the city gates. Why? Well, he had nothing else to do. British football hadn't been invented yet, so Manchester United wasn't playing that day. Anyway, he was sitting there minding his own business when another man came along and plopped down beside him. And they sat there quietly for a bit until the silence got awkward. Then the second man decided to break the ice with the only conversation starter that came to his mind. "You know, once I was blind, but now I can see." The first man hadn't planned on getting into any kind of discussion that day, but the coincidence was too much for him to pass up. "Wow, that's incredible!" I told you he was from southern Israel. "Once I was blind, but now I can see too." Well, that's all it took. Within seconds, they're going back and forth about the odds of two former blind men running into each other when, out of nowhere, a stranger walks up and interrupts them. I couldn't help but overhearing you gents, and you're not going to believe this, but..." Yeah, you guessed it. Another former blind man. 3 guys with a common bond. The basis of a great friendship, right? And it gets better. It doesn't take them long to figure out that they were all healed by the same man named Jesus. So they start comparing notes. The first man asked, "What did you think when Jesus started rubbing your eyes with all that mud he made out of spit?" "Mud? Spit? Yuck! No, says the second guy. "That's not the way it's done. Jesus puts his hands on your eyes, and just his hands, and then you can see, but the people all look like trees. Then he touches you again, and shazam, 20/20. Well, the third guy, he looks like he's about to bust a blood vessel, so he snaps back, 2 tries? What, he couldn't get it right the first time? What, you with the mud? Come on, are you serious? You're talking about the same Jesus, Messiah, God in the flesh? He doesn't need any of those theatrics. He just says, 'Receive your sight.' That's the proper way to heal blindness." So the argument raged on and on until they got fed up. They walked off in different directions and started their own churches. The last guy founded the Reformed Church of the Non-Theatrics. They're great social distancers because nobody ever touches anybody. The second guy launched the Two-Touch Tabernacle. The first guy's group, it goes by a bunch of different names, but you can recognize them because instead of doing baptisms, they do mud baths. Okay, maybe this encounter never really happened. I told you it was a fable, but it teaches us how easily what should be the basis of a great friendship can turn into a cause of conflict. How often do our relationships and our lives and church suffer because we get so caught up in the means and methods that we miss the point? Jesus clearly had no problem mixing things up to fit the needs of the people he was trying to reach, still being true to who he was. Why is it so hard for us? There's an ancient quote that used to be attributed to St. Augustine, but whoever actually said it hit the nail on the head. In essentials, unity. In non-essentials, liberty. And in all things, charity. Translation? Love. Spend some time this week celebrating the fact that what unites us is bigger and more important than any of the secondary things we disagree about. That's why Paul said in Romans 15:7, "Accept one another then, just as Christ accepted you, in order to bring praise to God." We'll see you Sunday.